Hey YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for clicking to watch this video. Hey, real quick, if you're not subscribed, take a second and mash down on that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. So let's talk about today's video. One of the most popular phone cases I talk about on my channel, one of the cases that gets the biggest views, has recently gone through a design revision that now makes this case one of the best thin cases you can buy for your phone. I'm talking about the new Spigen Thin Fit 2020 model for the iPhone 12 Pro Max, and it comes in other variations as well, but we're talking about the Spigen Thin Fit today. So there are a few key differences about this case from previous year's models, and we're going to do a comparison. I've got one for the iPhone XS Max here. I've got the version of the case for the iPhone 11 Pro Max, and we've got this year's model here for the 12 Pro Max. So we're gonna take a close-up look at this case and talk about some of the key differences that you're gonna find in this year's model. This is pretty exciting. I know it's just a phone case, but I get excited about phone cases. I saw this online, I had to pick it up, and I've actually made this video earlier than I planned because this might be something you wanna buy for Christmas or for that family member or friend that you have that gets a new phone this Christmas season. So let's take a close-up look at the Spigen Thin Fit. All right guys, so here are both models, kind of the model for the 11 Pro Max, kind of what I'm calling last year's model, and this year's model side by side. You can see where, for example, instead of cutouts, you have buttons this year. However, the buttons are still very clicky. A lot of the material is cut out around the button, which makes them very clicky. You can see how the bottom of last year's was exposed, but this year's case does cover the bottom and the top of the phone. Here's some more of the buttons on the case, and you can see the cutouts from last year. And then the top of the phone here was also cut away from previous year's models, which created a super thin case, almost a shell on the back of your phone, which is great. But if you're looking for something that has a little bit more protection, this year's model is going to give you that because the entire case wraps around the sides and the top and the bottom of your phone. You can also see that the camera bump is more prominent in this year's model. That's mainly because the camera lenses do protrude further in the 12 Pro Max, so it definitely requires a more pronounced camera bump, but that's good because it means you're getting that protection level. One key difference here is there was a depression in previous year's models where you could put a metal plate kind of on the inside for magnetic car chargers or magnetic car phone holders. This year's model does not have that same depression or kind of cutout area on the inside, so it is completely flat. I have not tested it with metal plate, but it will add extra bulk to the inside of the case, so I'm not sure that will work very well for this year's model. Now you can see that there are two different types of polycarbonate material. If you notice, there is a seam running down the side, and the material that's part of the lip that goes around the front of your phone is actually more malleable than on the back. The Spigen Thin Fit still has a super soft matte finish on the back, but it adds a little bit more of a malleable material around the front of the case, which gives it a really nice feel in the hand. This case feels really good on your phone. It's really tight fitting. It's not going to come off the phone. So to put the phone on the case, you just slide it in on the sides, and then you push down on the corners, and it'll kind of grab the edge of the phone. Because the iPhone 12 Pro Max and the iPhone 12s are kind of a flat surface, this gets a really nice kind of tight hold around that flat edge, and it fits like a glove. No worries about this case coming off of the phone. Here's a good look at the back of the case. There's your camera cutout. You do get a small branding touch with that Spigen name on the back of the case. Your buttons, volume up and down, your mute rocker cutout. This case looks really nice on the phone. So I'm going to zoom in so we can look closer, and there's the Spigen branding touch on the back of the case. And as we kind of come around the side, you can see the camera bump, and it is more pronounced as we talked about earlier, but you can see how it covers the camera lenses. You have plenty of room, plenty of protection from that camera bump. No need to worry about your camera lenses being scratched. Here is the mute rocker cutout and the volume up and down buttons. Plenty of room to get in and turn that mute rocker on and off. You can also see on the sides kind of the seam between the harder polycarbonate and the softer polycarbonate. And then on the bottom here is your speaker port cutouts and your power port. Plenty of room to get your charger plugged in. Come around the side, here is the power button. Again, the buttons are very clicky on this case. This is a nice, thin, and light case. Even with all the changes that they've made, this case only adds 0.09 inches of extra thickness to your phone, so it is most definitely a thin case. The other thing is, this case is obviously going to be wireless charging compatible. So here's the lip around the front of the case. Very nice lip all the way around. If you set this down on the face of your phone, you're not going to be scratching your screen. I still recommend a screen cover, and I'm using the Spigen screen cover today. It works perfectly with this case. So if you're looking for a nice thin and light case that's going to give you some nice protection, not huge drop protection, this isn't a tough case, but it's a very thin, light case. There are air pockets built into the corners of the case, so you will get some protection from light drops, but definitely in terms of scratches, without adding a lot of bulk to your phone. If that's something you're looking for, you should definitely consider the Spigen Thin Fit. All right, so that's the Spigen Thin Fit for 2020. I really do love this case. This has been sitting on my iPhone ever since I bought it. If you have any questions, just leave me a comment down below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I really appreciate you watching this video. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button. I will see you in the next video. Thanks, guys. Peace.